It's Angel from Halo Inspirations. We give you inspirations to help you spread beauty and joy through your quilting journey. Happy hump day. Whoop whoop. Happy Wednesday to each and every one of you. What are we doing today? Well, if you were paying attention the last time we met at Cherub Chit Chat, love that Cherub Chit Chat, we're going to be doing our last stitches for our crazy quilt. So I've already got mine done, but I want to get started on showing you these linear stitches. So these are a little bit different. Let's quit talking. Let's go ahead and get this started. I'll see you in just a sec. All right, here we are at the practice cloth. And I just have a few stitches to share. The first one, a lot of y'all may or may not know. But it's the back stitch, and I'm going to do something with it. So let's go over the back stitch first. Now, if you're right-handed, the whole idea is that you're going backwards. And because of that, I like to spin my fabric around. I mean, it's just the way I like to do it. So I am going to spin it around. Okay. So I've come up through my cloth. I've got a quilter's knot on the other side, and I'm actually going to go in. You want to try and keep it equal. Even if you don't have holes to count, you do want to try and keep it equal and on the same line. Okay. So I'm going to try and keep it equal by doing 3 holes, and there's a reason why I want to make it just a little bigger. Okay. So I've went in 3 holes, and I'm coming out over here on the left, okay? And I'm just going to simply pull through. Now when you do the back stitch, you go right back in to that first hole. And like I said, you want to try to keep it equal. So I'm going back through. I'm going back into that hole that I originally came out of, and you're just going to simply it's just a straight old line going all the way across. So I'll do a few more so that you can get a real feel for this next part. Making sure I'm even Steven as much as possible. This is probably one of the most easiest stitches, I think, and I use it in cross stitch too. So it is a very versatile stitch. Back in the hole. And I'm going to flip it around so you can see this and understand why it's going backwards, or hence why we call it the back stitch. So I started over here. And if I were to do this correctly, I'd go back in this hole. Now see, this is where I get kind of wonky because I'm not left-handed. So that's why I like to switch my fabric around. But as you see, we're going backwards and then pulling it out forwards. And I've gone 1 stitch too many. There we go, right? Yep, okay. Whoops, pull that down. Sorry about that, guys. So we went backwards. So we went back into the stitch before, and we're coming out ahead. So if I were to do one more, I'd go back into the stitch. So that's where you get the back stitch. It's very, very nice linear stitch. Very even, very easy to do. What I want to add to it is a whip stitch to it, okay? It adds a little character. So I'm actually going to go back in here. This is how I would finish it. I'd go back into that hole again, and I would just simply pull it through and knot it off in the back, okay? But the next thing I'm going to show you, I have the whip stitch ready, or the thread ready for the whip stitch. I'm going to use a different color, so I'm using red. I do have my quilter's knot. It's a little big. I'm using a tapestry needle because remember it has Remember, it has a blunt edge, okay? And that way I don't tear into the thread that I've already stitched, okay? So it won't tear it up. So I'm actually going to come in from the back right next to it, at that hole right next to it, okay? All right. And pull it through. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up through that stitch. And I'm going to pull through. And I'm going to go to the next one. And I'm going to go up. Let me show you here. Go up through that stitch. Okay? And pull it through. And then I'm going to go up through the next stitch. And pull it through. So super easy, but so, I mean, it is so cute. The texture that it adds. Now, we're going to be going over a couple of stitches, and I'm pretty sure you can whip stitch all of them. So this was the back stitch, and now I've added a whip to it with a tapestry needle so I don't shred and poke at that thread. Now when I go to end it, I've got 2 more here. Okay, 1 more. All I'm going to do is go right into the hole next to it, next to the blue. Pull it through, maybe. There we go. And there you have it. A beautiful back stitch with a whip stitch. Now I'm actually going to pull this up a little closer, and then I'm going to try to focus in. Super cute, right? I love this. And it's so fun, so easy, and adds so much character. Okay, so that is the back stitch with the whip stitch. I'll see you in just a sec with the next stitch. Back at you with another stitch. Now this one is called the chain stitch, and what's really cool about this is it follows curves nicely. So if you need to do a little curve with your line, you so can do that. So again, I have pulled out my thread through the back of my fabric. I'm going to go back in where I came out, and I'm going to go down a couple of stitches. Okay, and I'm going to put the working thread under. Okay, and then I'm going to simply pull through. Okay, then we're going to go back in where that emerged, and again we're going to go down a couple of stitches or a couple of holes. Okay, your working thread needs to be under the needle, and we're going to pull through. Boom. Super cute, right? Go back in. Down a couple of holes. The idea is that you just try to make them even Steven. Working thread under and pull through. And you can do a whip stitch with this one also, which I'll do here in just a second. And it's nice because it's a little thicker than the back stitch. So if you need something to show a little thicker, this would definitely be the one to go with. And this is another easy one, guys. And you can trace hearts, triangles, different shapes. You know, until you really get familiar, which won't take long, I don't think. This truly is not a hard stitch, but eventually you'll be able to design your own, right? I'm going to do one more. So you go back in where you came out. I'm going down a couple of holes. Okay, working thread under the needle and pull through. Boom. Super cute, right? It's a little thicker, like I said, than your back stitch, right? So I'm going to go back in where I came. Well, I'm going to go right underneath this time and over the thread. Okay, and this is how I would end it. And I would just simply pull through. And then I would knot it in the back. That is so super cute. I just love, love, love this stitch. Okay, now, again, if I were going to want to whip stitch it just like before, I'm actually going to turn the fabric a little, but I'm going to come out right where right at the place that I started at. I'm going to pull it through, and I have that quilter's knot back there. Okay, so then again, I'm using a tapestry needle so I don't shred the threads, and you're just going to go up through just like we did before. Plain and simple. I think this is adorable. Cannot wait to use this on my block. Look at that. Look at that. And like I said, and I'll show you again in just a sec, it is just a little thicker than the back stitch. Now, if I was going to end it, I'm going to go right back in where the end stitch is, pull it through, and then I could knot it off. Super cute. Love that. Is that not too cute? That's too cute. Okay, so here's our back stitch. Okay, you can see that it is thinner, as a matter of fact, and this one is our chain stitch. Both of them have been whipped. So that is the chain stitch with the whip, and I've got one more I'd love to share with you, so I'll see you in just a sec. Last one. Okay, so we are going to do the running stitch, but we're going to add a little something to it after we get through this. A lot of you know the running stitch because it is used in quilting to do quilting, right? However, you can also use it in embroidery. So for those of you who are new to the running stitch, I am going to demonstrate it for just a second, and I got a little story to tell you. Now again, I am right-handed, so I should be going from this direction, but I find it more difficult. So I'm going to flip around the fabric. I did pull it up. I do have the quilter's knot behind it, but let me just flip it around. It just makes it easier for me. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to go in and out evenly, okay? And what's important, because of the next step, that you do it kind of loose. Don't make it tight, but not floppy, okay? So I'm going to go in 3 stitches over. Now, I will tell you, if you do it where you're bunching it up like this and putting it on your needle, you may run the risk of making this a little bit too tight. But I want to show you the running stitch like this. Now, I will tell you, this is a runner. My mom and I have had this discussion because when I've quilted with the running stitch, I can't do it like this, okay? So you know, when I do this on my own block, that I will not be running like this. I'll show you in just a second exactly what I do, and we have come to learn that I am called a stabber. Okay, so you just want to try and make it even. And you just in and out, in and out. 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to go over 3 stitches. I'm trying to make sure that it stays even as best as possible. I'm going to let it go in at the end here. Now see how I've got it all bunched up. Now we don't want it to be tight, and I do run the risk of being tight when I do this. But you just would simply just simply here pull it through. Now remember, I don't want it to pull too tight. Now that's a runner. Okay, so I'm trying to leave it a little loosey-goosey. I don't want my fabric to get distorted, so I'm just gonna lift it up a little. Okay. All right. Now the second row, I'm gonna go back the other direction, so I'm gonna flip around my fabric here. Okay. Now that was a runner. Okay. Here's a stabber. All right. I'm going to go up. Now remember, I'm trying to make it even. Okay. Nope. I need to go back one. Okay, because we're going to offset the second row. So I notice I pulled it up through. Now this is a stabber, guys. So I would go down. And I would come up. Okay. I would go down. And let me tell you, when I've quilted, hand quilted, I've only done one. And I don't plan on ever doing another one. That took forever. But this is what I did. I was a stabber. I could not get the running stitch to work appropriately for me, where the stitches were even and, you know, equal tautness or tightness. So I stabbed, and it's an actual term, and it is what it is. If this is what you have to do, then that's what you have to do. And this is probably what I'm going to do when I go to do this stitch on my block. But notice how I'm offsetting. So the top row, right? And then the bottom row is just a little bit offset. I probably should have gone down one more row, but that's okay. And I'm going to come up. And I'm going to go down, and I'm going to leave the thread back there because this is how I would end it. I would just simply go in and knot it there in the back. Okay. So there is our offset running stitch. We've got 2 rows and they're offset. Okay. Now we're going to do, that is your running stitch, plain and simple. Okay. Lots of things you can do with this, but now I'm going to thread it. We're going to call this the threaded running stitch. Okay. Now we're doing that threaded. So I'm actually going to flip this around because it makes more sense to me this direction, only because my offsets are in at the top and out at the in. Well, this is the normal top, and this is the bottom normally because I flip this around and these are sticking out. It just makes more sense this way to me. So I'm just going to turn it. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to come up through the fabric. Now again, I'm using my tapestry needle, so it has a blunt end. Okay. And I'm going to go in with this stitch. And this is why you want it loose. It will become tighter as we weave this through. And then you're going to want to come through that first stitch on that other row. Okay. And we're just going to simply pull it through. Okay. Super easy. Gotta love it. Now we're going to go back down this second one and back in that first one. Okay. So notice, and then I'll just simply pull it through. Okay. Then I'm going to go to this next stitch and I'm going to go up this one and up to that second stitch on that other row and simply pull through. Then we'll go, have to think about it, down this stitch and down that second. So now we're at this angle. Pull through. Okay. Then we're going to go up at an angle. Now, you don't want to pull it too tight because it will, again, distort the fabric. And we really don't want to do that. We just want it to look pretty. So then we go back down. So it looks like this. And pull through. Okay. Go to the next stitch. Okay. There we go. So it looks like that. Just a couple more stitches, guys, and you'll get to see exactly what this is supposed to look like. I love this stitch. I think all the stitches this week were amazing. Easy to do, and it's actually a lot of fun. So we're going to go back up through here. And you can see why this tapestry needle is a blessing, because I would be shredding the dickens out of these threads. I'm going to go back down. So it looks like so. And I'm going to pull through. And then I'm just going to end it. So I'm just going to go over a stitch, pull it through. And there we have it. Isn't that just the cutest thing you ever saw? Seriously. Super cute. Love it. I'm just going to tighten it up just a little on this one right here. I want this one to be tighter. There we go. Pull this through. And then I can pull it in the back. And I would just knot it off. But isn't that cute, guys? That is super cute. So that's your threaded running stitch. I just had to share that with you. Okay, so I'm going to get some of this done on my block. And I'll share with you my block and what I've done for this week. And I'll see you in just a sec. So I wanted to show you my block. And this is one of them. And I went ahead and did the chain stitch all the way around this bulb. And then on the stars, I know it's hard to tell because of the color. Let me go ahead and try and do this. So there we have it. I've done a back stitch on all the stars. Super cute. Love that. And then that chain stitch going around. Oh, and I did some back stitching around the top here for this particular block. Now, as far as the running stitch, which I am not the best at, on the next block I've already started here, I went ahead and did the threaded running stitch. I think it turned out pretty darn cute. Super cute. Love it. The next step is for this block, I'm going to go ahead and put some embellishment, a little bit more. I mean, all the seams are done. I don't know how much I'm going to do, but I definitely am going to put some buttons and charms and whatnots. So I'll be able to show you this later today when we do our live. I'll show you what I've done. And like I said, I've already started my next block. Is that not just so super cute? Now notice I do have the stay stitch, and that tells me where the 1/4 inch is. That way I stay away from it in the future, like we talked about way back in the beginning. But I have started it, and she's going to be just as beautiful. So looking forward to showing you this one with some buttons and such. But let me come back at you here in just a sec. Okay, so super cute, right? Now I want to tell y'all this is our last stitching for our crazy quilt and learning some different stitches. And I wanted to offer you somewhere to go. I've watched a couple of her videos. It's Sarah Humphrey. Sarah Humphrey Embroidery is actually the name of her YouTube channel. She is professionally trained. And she does a great job walking you through and talking you through different embroidery stitches and a lot of different things, different techniques, all kinds of stuff. So I wanted to offer you somewhere to go who is a professional, because y'all have been learning with me. I am so much of a beginner and we've had a lot of fun doing this, but now, you know, this is our last stitch together, so I just wanted to give you that little extra place to go. They do have a number of books, is actually where I was learning. There are a number of books that you can find, Amazon, or, you know, Books and Noble or different places of that nature. Just be careful. It's nice if you can thumb through them a little bit, because I did purchase one book and it's just pretties. There's no real teaching or education inside of it. It's just a lot of inspiration, which is always good too. But if there's something you see and you want to learn how to make it, that particular book didn't give me any of that. But there are a lot of books out there that do have it. So as far as Sarah Humphrey's link, I'll put it in the description box for you guys. That way it'll be easy for you to find if you're so interested. I am, because there's so much out in the embroidery world, and believe it or not, I'm loving the hand stitching side of it, which y'all know me, I don't like to hand stitch, but there's something real different about this. If you are making a crazy quilt, I know I've been, several of you have reached out and let me know that you are very inspired and that you were going to do one of these. Of course, Miss Mary, our cherub here, she has finished hers, and absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. She did share it during a cherub chit chat. I want to say it was October's. So check out October's cherub chit chat to find Mary's quilt top that she did. Fantabulous. Absolutely fantabulous. But if you're making one, please share. We would all love to see your creation. So I will be on today, along with Mayhem. We'll be on today for our live quilting and answers, live Q&A, today at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So I look forward to seeing each and every one of you there. I look forward to seeing any more of yours. And, you know, on our different cherub chit chats, if I get another block done, I'll definitely be sharing, or at just progress in general. You know, maybe I just got some seams stitched or something. I will continue to share my crazy quilt, because it's going to take me a while. I'm not as fast as you guys. Lots of projects, lots of things to create. So I just kind of take a little time and do it for my enjoyment. I know that we did this as a project, but I'm really enjoying it. So eventually I'll get the whole thing put together and y'all will see that too. And maybe I'll do a video to demonstrate that. But hope to see you today for our live Q&A. Thank you all for stopping by. Yeah, I hope that you have enjoyed this series. I know I have, and I know some of you also have, but I hope all of you are inspired, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you today at 3. And of course, our next video will be in 2 weeks, and it's going to be another Christmas Wednesday. Looking forward to that. So see you all soon. Thank you for stopping by. I absolutely love you. But until next time, guys, may you continue to be inspired, productive, ever so joyful. Never stop believing and never stop making your dreams in quilting come true. We love you. Happy quilting. Whoop, whoop. Happy crazy quilting. And I'll see you all soon.